Welcome to Back in Black, the ultimate home for Colorado football.
Matt McChesney. I played at the University of Colorado from 2000 to 04, 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of the football.
Welcome to Back in Black, Buff Insider, Butt 247 Sports. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. Bailey's on the ones and the twos. We have a lot to talk about today. So hold on to your ass. Happy Monday to everybody out there. We're not late. We pushed it an hour. If you got a problem, get off. So let's roll. Back in Black.
Back in Black, the premier show for Colorado Buffaloes football coverage. We are in the building here, and it's a fine Monday here. We got a lot to talk about. Got our main man, class of 2027 offensive lineman Jackson Roer joins the show. He recently committed to UCLA, and Coach Bob Chesney down at UCLA. But before we get into things, this show is presented by Buff Insider and 247 Sports. So before you do anything, go head on over to buffinsider.com. Go get you 60% off an annual VIP membership on 247sports.com by using the promo code B2BPOD. That's B2BPOD. Go get over there. Get on the message boards. Matt and I are going to be in there. Matt's going to do a Q&A soon over there. But get over there. Get an annual membership, annual VIP membership. Thank you to 247 Sports and Buff Insider for all they do for the show. Matt, we are in the building here. It is a beautiful Monday, and we got a lot to talk about, including Shador Sanders graduated from Colorado, which has captured a ton of headlines for some reason. But congratulations to Shedeur completing his, obligation, getting his degree from Colorado, Matt. This is big. And Matt, before we kind of talk about this, I just wanted to dive it into, take it back to your days. Do you have any graduation stories from back in the day?
No, I didn't graduate on time. I went back to school after I got done in the league. So I graduated in 11 instead of 04. I didn't want to commute back and forth for 3 classes. But this is cool. I'm glad he went back. That's always a special moment with your family. I thought it was pretty cool how he laid out his graduation digs like his dad used to lay out his uniform.
Like son, cool. Yeah, I love it.
So yeah, it's cool to see him go back and mingle with the regular folks.
That is for sure. And we did see Shedeur mingling with Colorado student body, etc. You can kind of see him, the video that he ended up posting all over socials there with the students there at CU in Boulder on graduation. But Matt, Shedeur, on top of this, what's up?
Sorry, my bad. Sorry, I was talking to myself. Sorry.
No, okay. Shedeur hinted at continuing school after his graduation, saying he's considering a master's degree. And he says, quote, "I got to stack up my real life chips. I'm really thinking about getting my master's degree. I don't know yet. Something I really feel like it would be very effective. I don't think you have to get your master's or have to have your degree to be successful, but I'm doing it more for the activity of learning." Thoughts, Matt? I think it's a good thing.
Getting your master's degree? Yeah, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to say he doesn't need it, I don't think anybody necessarily needs it. People just kind of go do it. So if you're going to get it, that kicks ass. Anything he can do to better himself academically, that can only help in the workforce post NFL, even if he's going to be an agent or a GM or own a team or whatever he ends up doing. It can't hurt to be more educated.
Yeah, that is true. I do agree with that. Like to see that for Shedeur. I like the like father like son, him laying out the graduation gown like his dad did back in the day with the Niners. So that was cool to see. And so congratulations, Shedeur, and on the Colorado Buffaloes on graduating. Matt, let's move forward here. Talk a little Colorado or just kind of what's in the news. So Coach Prime, I don't know if you want to call it, responded to Shador Sanders' comments to Mary Kay Cabot, telling her to go make a sandwich under her post about Deshaun Watson possibly having a lead in the Browns quarterback race. But here's Coach Prime, what he had to say.
Tripping about what somebody saying anyway. God ain't got time for that. I got too many things I'm praying for. I want to happen. He's sending that up to God. That ain't that. I am that. God ain't got that. Occupy God for all the bullshit.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, for the audio listeners,
I can't hear a damn thing he's saying. Not one thing.
I got it. It says, quote, you majoring on a minor, you over here tripping about what somebody said on the internet. I ain't got time for that. I got too many things I'm praying for in summarization. Thoughts, Matt, on this whole situation as we sit here on a Monday now after this?
He doesn't have anything to tap. He doesn't have time for things that happen on the internet. Is that what he's saying?
Basically.
Could you repeat that to me again?
He said, you're majoring on a minor. Y'all over here tripping about what somebody said on the internet. I ain't got time for that. I got too many things I'm praying for in summarization because it's in the water.
They trip about everything everyone says on the internet. And now somebody says it about your kid and you ain't got time for it. Typical. That's my feeling.
What do you mean?
I mean, are you kidding me? Every time we say something on an internet show, it gets blown up. And every time somebody says something, they got something to say. But now it's about Shiloh, and now he doesn't have anything to say, and he doesn't want to talk about it. That's typical. That's my feeling.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, we are the show that is, I think, truthful and honest and critical when need be. If you can't criticize something you love, do you really love it? That's kind of our thing on the show. That I will say. So that's automatically, I think, going to get natural attention. But I'm confused on why you have such a big problem with this. What is he supposed to say to that? Like he's supposed to address it?
I don't have a problem with it at all. I could give a damn what he has to say about what Shiloh said. I think that's what he's saying. I'm saying, I just said what I said. That like everything that's on the internet and everything that everyone says in shows, there seems to be a problem with that until Shiloh says something and now he doesn't have time for it. That's my response to your question.
Fair. Well, we also saw
exactly, and who cares exactly? Like, there's certain things that like are just meant to cause drama, and that's what this is. Like somebody's asking Shiloh a question, then they ask Prime his response, and then we're going to respond off Prime's response. And man, I don't know how to respond to it anymore, and I don't really give a shit anymore about that. I mean, to be completely honest with you, it's simply just to get people to react to something else somebody said so they can freak out at the other person, so they can freak out at the other person, and it's this circle of freak out. And I'm over it, to be honest with you. So,
fair.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
Shiloh said some shit, and Prime said some shit, and I said some shit, and Neely said some shit, and Shedeur said some shit, and you said some shit, and everybody had something to say, and we're all right back to where we started. Who cares?
Well, we're just showing it because
it's just like this. Matt has a problem with everything Coach does at CU. I don't give a shit. I don't care at all. And just asking me the question, and then I have to give a real answer, and then people think I have a problem. I don't care at all. It means nothing to me. He's on vacation. What Shiloh said doesn't have any bearing on me whatsoever. I don't care. I think it's ridiculous.
We show this. This is Coach Prime's first public comment about that. That Shiloh thing caught every single headline, including TMZ, etc.
I understand.
Matt,
we talked about it on Friday. I get it.
But Matt, I don't know if you've also seen this. I think Coach Prime and Carucci, they keep showing them everywhere. They're gonna have a reality TV show next or what, Matt? You've seen all these. Every single time I open my phone, it's Coach Prime and Carucci somewhere. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they're on vacation and living it up. I don't know the age difference, but Belichick got a lot of shit for having a young girlfriend. I doubt Prime does get a lot of shit for it, nor should he. So go enjoy yourself, bro. You're in your 60s and just beat cancer. Life's good, obviously. Good for him.
I mean, what? I think Coach Prime's 58, Carucci's 30 in her 30s.
Yeah, I don't give a shit
Jordan
about that.
Hudson, the Jordan Hudson thing's a little bit different, although I mean
I don't think it's any different at all. I think it's all ridiculous. Who cares what other people do?
Well, yeah, I mean, you brought it up. So I mean, Jordan Hudson's 25, Belichick's 70 in his 70s. That's a little bit more of an age gap. We're talking about that. I mean, either way, they're all consenting adults. I don't look at it anyway. I'm like, everywhere I look, I'm like, dang, Coach Prime and Carucci, they're about to start a reality TV show or something. Unbelievable, Matt. But that's just what's in the news with Coach Prime as he's on vacation as we get closer and closer and closer to the Colorado Buffaloes football season. Matt, I wanted to go to this here, talk a little Browns here, and kind of get your take on this because this is kind of stirring up some stuff on the internet. Chad Ochocinco says Shador Sanders is the future of the Cleveland Browns in the quarterback room, although he says they will start Deshaun Watson this season because they're paying him all this money. Take a listen.
That sounds familiar.
Goddamn young. God damn it. Slipping my goddamn mind.
Who that, Shedeur?
Shedeur probably will be the quarterback of the future. But we won't know until Deshaun plays this season and things aren't going well. That'll be the only time Shedeur unseats him as a starting quarterback. They're going to give Deshaun Watson every ample opportunity to not only win this battle, to justify the money that he's making, but to also put on film and audition for other teams after this season is up. Because obviously he won't be with Cleveland next year, Joe. You know?
And unless he have a hell of a year.
But
that's where I want to stop it, and that's what I wanted to debate with you. So Deshaun Watson, let's say Cleveland has a good year. Do you think there's any chance they extend him, or do you think Shedeur is still the future of the Browns, like Ocho said? What do you think, Matt?
Well, I mean, I said this 2 months ago, and I got a ton of shit for it. Every time I say it, I get a ton of shit for it, like I'm supporting Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's going to start, like I said. This isn't new news. That's exactly what I said 2 months ago, that he's going to start because he's being paid all this money and the writing's on the wall. Shedeur may be the future, but only if Deshaun's terrible. So if Deshaun plays well and the Cleveland Browns live up to expectation for the first time maybe ever, because they apparently have good players, then he'll play. Then Shedeur's not going to be the future. And it's just the way it is. So, honestly, I don't want Shedeur in Cleveland in the first goddamn place. So, what are we talking about? Like, the faster he can get out of that hellhole, the better. So, they obviously are showing Shedeur how they feel about him by drafting a quarterback in the 6th round. And after everything Deshaun Watson's done and been through, they keep going back to him to start over Shedeur and Gabriel. There's 2 guys that are getting screwed here. So, yeah, be ready to play when Deshaun gets hurt or sucks, which is a very high probability of happening. But I would not think that he's the future in Cleveland. He's probably the future in, many different other franchises, in my opinion, and not the Cleveland Browns. I hope he is. I hope that they start him. That would be, why draft a quarterback in the 6th round when you have 2 drafted last year, other than it's a new coaching staff, But again, they wrapped up so much money in this sexual predator that they have to play him, and that's just what it is.
Look, it would really shock, I think, everybody if Deshaun Watson goes in there and the Browns go like 11-6 and are in the playoffs. Like, I mean, to be fair though, Joe Flacco.
I mean, they just made the playoffs with Joe Flacco like 2 years ago, bro. So
just gonna say that.
And they won a playoff game like 4 years ago with Baker Mayfield before they started this craziness. So
that's what I'm saying. So I'm not saying it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'll say that, especially when you got Myles Garrett on the edge, you got a young linebacker, I believe won defensive rookie of the year, I want to say, and et cetera. Like you have a lot of stuff to work with there for Deshaun, especially if they can run the football. Although I still am stuck on, will they extend him though? Let's say they have a good year. I don't know. I still am like, you really see them giving him like a 3-year deal and actually paying him more money after the owner adds them publicly?
If they win, I don't give a shit what the owner said. And then he came out and started him and told the coaching staff he's going to start. If you don't think Jimmy Haslam is pulling the strings behind here, then that's just naive for anybody that thinks that. So, yeah, if they win and he plays up to snuff and he's one of the reasons they're winning, damn right they're going to extend him.
And then where does that leave Shedeur? Are you
on the outside in, bro? That's just like I said. He's probably not going to end up in Cleveland, which is a good thing.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe he ends up on your New York Jets, who we're going to talk about in the next hour because Aaron Rodgers was seen with the Jets hoodie on for some reason, but I don't think that plays into any.
He played for him.
Well, yeah, I'm
I wonder why he's wearing the hoodie.
Yeah, I don't think that plays any part to where he's ending up, though, Matt. Let's dive into some recruiting here, Matt, and this is an interesting one here that I wanted to kind of get your.
What did I just say? That's a hater. What did I say? That he needs to leave Cleveland, and that they're probably going to start Deshaun Watson with all that money, and it's bullshit, and Shedeur should play, and I'm a hater, and that's why I didn't get the coaching job. All right, awesome, sweet, bro. I'm so glad you're watching.
Some things just some people just say anything in the chat, man. Sometimes.
What are you listening to, bro? Because it's not what I said, but whatever. Who gives a shit? Next question.
Let's dive into some recruiting, Matt, because we got a lot to talk about on recruiting here. But I wanted to kind of, you're Colorado, obviously. You bleed black and gold, but this is something here I wanted to kind of dive into, go back in the history books here, but this pertains to recruiting, so to speak. So the Buffs offered 2028 running back Hafia Roussan, for 2028 running back from Washington, D.C., Matt. And he is the grandson of Colorado Buffs great Lee Roussan. Played in Colorado, graduated, I believe, in 85, or he was drafted to the New York Giants in the 85 draft.
Nice.
And Colorado offers his grandson. So they're Colorado offering some legendary Buffs there. Thoughts?
That's fantastic. I haven't seen any film on this kid, but legacy Buffs getting offered by the Buffs is a good thing. You know, look, this kid's got 3 stars next to his name, and judging by how people get ranked, you usually have to be pretty good. So I would imagine that this is a priority for them to try and bag a legacy Buff from the East Coast and bring him in and see what we can see. You know, we're going to need lots of backs, that's for sure.
That is for sure. Colorado honoring some legacy Buffs there. We'd like to see more of that. Colorado's recruiting, but we'll leave that at that. Congratulations to Hafia Roussan for getting offered and stuff like that, and can't wait to see where his recruitment goes. But he's the grandson of Buff great Lee Roussan. Matt, let's dive into some more recruiting here. Reese Russell, congratulations to Reese Russell, product of your 6-0 Academy, second commitment in like 7 days. Reese Russell committed to UW, goes up to Seattle, Montlake on the water up there. Congratulations to Reese. Gets to play in Husky Stadium. Man, really, this is big time. He gets to pay for Jetfish, gets to go play on the water up there. I grew up watching Husky, so I'm like happy aside. Like, that's really cool. So congratulations to Reese. Matt, thoughts on this?
Reese is going to come on the show tomorrow. We got Jackson on today.
Nice.
You know, everybody knows how I feel about Reese Russell. He's the son of Matt Russell and the cousin of Brady Russell. And if I seem a little perturbed, I'm really pumped for my guy, and I'm glad he's going to Washington. But this one hurts the Buffalo inside of me. This one hurts. Just because of who he is. Again, they should have laid the gold carpet out when he was a freshman 4 years ago, even before Coach Prime. But it just didn't happen. So Washington got an unbelievable young man and football player, and Coach Switz, their offensive line coach, who's in tomorrow to watch the guys work out, He is one of the best in the business, and I know he'll develop him into a great player. And they just lost a great center in the transfer portal to Arizona, another Dungeon family guy, Zach Henning, who started for him last year and then went to Arizona in the portal after he graduated and has 2 more years to play, which is his right. So Reese is the kind of kid that's going to early enroll and walk in ready to play with a chip on his shoulder. And his coach, Mike Sanford, put out a text or a tweet today saying this is a 10-year center. I think he's a 12-year center. I'll up you, Mike. That's just the kind of kid he is. He called me last night about 9:30 and was like, this is what's happening tomorrow. And I was like, I knew it. Good job. Congratulations. It's great to get those phone calls from my guys. That's why we work as hard as we do. So congratulations to Matt and to Delaney, his sister, and Brady, his cousin, and the whole family, and his mom, and just everybody associated. So Valor's got another big timer. The last guy to go to Washington for Valor High School is named Roger Rosengarten, also Dungeon family, who happens to be who's about to get $100 million contract in the NFL as a tackle. So, and Baltimore would be smart to keep him at right tackle for about 10, 12 years. Weird. Yeah. Pretty excited for my guy, Reese Russell. Pretty excited for the Russell family. But this is another one of the guys that you just don't let leave that is out. Peace. So Washington got one hell of a player, though, I'll tell you that.
That they did. And he comes from a lineage, obviously, of Matt Russell, Brady Russell, played at Colorado, played for the Seahawks. So now he gets to go up to Seattle, be close to Brady and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool as well. And stuff like that.
That's probably the coolest part.
Yeah, that is the coolest part and stuff like that. And that's full circle for them as well.
You'd go live in your cousin's basement who just won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks and then go play for Washington. And their facilities are literally right next to each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is I wouldn't be surprised in 4 years if he gets drafted by the Seahawks or the Eagles. Considering his dad works for the Eagles. Maybe. Never know.
But congratulations to Reese going up there and stuff like that. And Matt, we keep harping on this in-state recruiting, going back and going. They just keep reiterating this, but can you put it in simplest terms for people out there who might not understand? Why is a Colorado struggling to bag a Reese Russell? What is it specifically? I mean, I'll let you speak on it, but I think part of it is them getting in late with in-state talent. Part of it is not I don't think Coach Prime has gone to Valor High School and talked to Coach Sanford and seen Reese Russell. There's a lot of different things that go into it, but can you kind of break it down for the folks listening?
Do I have to? Because I understand that we're doing and I'm going to do it, but let me reiterate my resistance to answering this question for the simple fact that regardless of how I answer it, it's just going to get shit on from every angle and everyone's just going to attack everything I say. So, okay. There's really good players in Colorado. A lot of them have legacy to the University of Colorado. It would be nice if the University of Colorado put their best foot forward in trying to recruit those kids instead of the illusion of recruitment. I'm not saying they don't care. They obviously care about recruiting. That's how you build a program. But there's just not an urgency for the Colorado kids. They do not value the players on the front range the way that a Gary Barnett did, the way that Rick Neuheisel did. And I know that's a long time ago, the way that Coach McIntyre did, the way that Coach Tucker did. He was only here for a year, but he offered, God, man, he walked in and bagged a ton of the front range top players. So, and I don't know if it worked out or not because he was gone so fast. This is a Colorado problem. Carl Durrell had the same issue, but Carl Durrell's not Coach Prime. So it just is what it is. I don't know. I don't know why you don't want this kid. The only team that didn't want him was CU. The only team, but they act like they did, but they don't. The only team that didn't really want Roper is CU. The only, like you can say you wanted Breck and Deacon, but I was in those meetings. So again, I don't know, man. It is what it is. There's plenty of other quality programs around the country that will honor and value the players. Jackson Coleman from Valor, he went to Notre Dame today. Another Valor 3-star that committed to Freeman and Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a year away from playing for the national title, so I guess Jackson can't play either. But look, it is what it is. I don't really care anymore. It's run its course with me. If they want to recruit the guys, they know where they are. If they don't, then it'll be just like every other day. So I don't know why, and don't really give a shit, honestly, anymore.
That's fair. That's fair. Before we move on to some other topics, Matt, I want to highlight some.
I'm gonna address this right here too.
Okay. Big Facts You says CU offers $700K, but Matt tells his kids ask for $850, so it's different in the amount Matt thinks they deserve what CU believes they deserve. Go ahead.
The market sets the money, dummy, not me. If someone else offers more, no one's going to take less from someone that's offering more. Just because. All I said was that CU probably needs to overcommit to quality in-state players to make sure they don't get scooped up by USC, Oklahoma, Washington, and UCLA and Notre Dame, and God knows where else. Elijah Cromwell's 25 offers deep now. They're going to throw big money at Elijah. If you want to keep a future first-round running back in Colorado, you probably need to overextend because you play in the Big 12, not in the Big 10 or in the SEC. And that's a fact.
That is a fact.
That's why Texas Tech is so good, because Texas Tech overpays players. Good ones. They say, oh, Alabama is going to give you $1.5 million, hypothetically. Well, come to Texas Tech. I know it's in the Big 12, but we're going to operate like an SEC roster. We're going to give you $2 million because we believe in you and we think you can come here and change the fortunes. That's the way this works. And I know because I'm in on all the meetings and I represent players, and this is what we do at 6-0. And honestly, talking to morons like you and on this, what we do here, to be honest with you, I feel like I'm lessening and cheapening myself actually having these conversations because this is ridiculous. You people don't understand currency and inflation and leverage and the way this works. It's unbelievable to me. No one's saying CU can't recruit. They can recruit with the best of them. The way that they allocate their funding is on them. But if a guy comes and says, okay, you were offered this much, and then school X came in and they want you and it's this much, can you match that so we can keep having this conversation? You really expect a kid just to be like, and parents, because they're involved in this, because all these guys are under 18 when they're having these negotiations the majority of the time. Yep. And parents, you think the parent is just going to be like, oh, you know what? We should probably take less money because the in-state school wants us to stay home. What are you talking about? Put yourself in that situation. Come on, man. You guys are not this stupid. There's no way you're this much of an idiot fan. I swear to God, like the CU fan base, the majority of people are pretty smart and educated. And then there's like these just randoms that just talk. What is wrong with you guys? You don't understand how free market economics work. You don't understand how capitalism works. You don't understand that, like, when you become a free agent in the NFL and people bid on your services, you're probably going to take the highest number every time because football is fleeting and you only get so many contracts.
Yeah.
But you're going to get mad at me for saying to one of my guys that I help that they should absolutely maximize themselves as an ex-player that couldn't until I got to the NFL. And you're going to sit here and tell me that I'm wrong? I'm sorry, but you sound a little bit full of shit on this one. Give me a break, fanboys. Give me a break with this shit.
And Matt, here's the thing. Like, I think certain people in the chat get twisted. Like, we don't want Reese Russell up there. We don't want Jackson Roer.
I would love Reese. I've been saying since day one, his freshman He's been working with me since 7th grade. I'm like
Yeah.
best friends with his dad.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, come on. His dad won the buckets there. I told them immediately, the 3 coaches ago, this kid is priority. You can't let him leave. He's legacy. He's going to be a pro. So again, the next great player that walks in, Devin West, just got ranked #1 in the class of 2030. He goes to Fairview High School down the street. His father, mother, everybody are massive CU fans. We all bleed black and gold. I encourage you to he just got invited to the Rise. I represent this kid with a Squire, okay, who's Clay Barnett, Gary's son. If you don't think we want Colorado to actively pursue this kid and offer him and treat him correctly and honor the fact that he's going to have 50 offers by the time he's 15 years old, and he could be a top 5 tackle in the country by the time he's a senior, because if you haven't seen this kid, you obviously aren't watching.
He is massive.
Kid you can't lose. And I want you to bookmark this episode, Bailey, because I'm tired of this shit. I'm sick of this bullshit. This is the kind of kid they can't lose. I did this with Breck. Breck's first offer was CU. Mike Sanford offered him. When I said, Mike, you can't not offer this kid. I know you're just the intern coach. We got to get the ball rolling. They offered him first.
Yep.
Then they didn't do anything with it. Because Sanford left and a new coaching staff came in, and it was Carl Durrell, and everybody shit on themselves. And then Coach Prime got here and the Louis luggage, and it just got overlooked. And the value was, they didn't value him the way the other teams could have and should have. And now USC's head or O-line coach is standing next to me in the gym saying this kid's going to start as a freshman. Missed opportunity. Deacon, missed opportunity. And we're just talking about the relative ones that are in the prime era. I'm not talking about the other 30 guys before that. This is another one. You can't let Devin West out. He's at Fairview High School. Tate Pierce, Morgan Pierce, son. Eric Pierce, nephew. If you don't know those names, you're probably not a very good Colorado fan either. And they played at CSU, but you should know who they are because they're Colorado guys. Okay. And Eric played for 14 years in the NFL. Morgan was an all Mountain West offensive lineman. Their son, or Morgan's son, Tate, plays at Fairview too.
Yep.
Right down the street. You don't let these kids leave.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let Davis leave. Don't let Davis Moon leave Ballard High School without offering him first at Colorado. Don't wait for 5 Big 12 teams to validate what you already know. I'm going to reiterate that. I wish you want me to answer your question, and I got there the long way, okay? I wish Colorado would stop watching other teams offer to validate what they should already know. That's my answer. When you're presented with these players and you can look at them and you know already, but you wait for everybody else to offer and then you get in the party late, it makes you look like you're not confident in your own evaluation. Because if you didn't want him, why are you offering him late? You just wanted to see if other people would offer him, and then you validate. Like then you can go see, TCU offered him. So we're on TCU level recruiting. No offense to TCU, it's just an example.
And
Matt, TCU offers them, then we can. Again, example. But why aren't we ever first? Why are we never first?
I don't know.
Why are we not first with Roper or Reese or Deacon or Jackson Coleman? Why aren't we first with? Why are we going to be first with Devin? Why aren't we first with Moon? Why aren't we first with Caden Meyer? Why? What are we doing? So again, that's why I don't understand the outside validation piece. So again, get as mad as you want, throw as many stones as you want. He's mad because he didn't get a job, blah, 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 blah. I couldn't work up there anyway. I'm too opinionated.
And Matt,
I would have gotten fired in 30 minutes.
The reality of it, Matt, is Colorado is an opportunity to do exactly what you're talking about, what you're wanting with Big Devin West here. I mean, I think he is the next. I mean, he is going to be something special, and he works hard.
Already special, bro.
Yeah, and he works hard in your gym every single morning.
He'll be there at 5 a.m. tomorrow to work out for Washington State, Boise, and whoever else is coming tomorrow morning. Exactly. And then next Tuesday, we've got another 8 schools on deck. Mm-hmm. So again, just keep up with the narrative and blah, blah. And we'll just keep pushing out players. And the number 1 and the number 2 player in the state of Colorado just committed in consecutive shows. Okay, on Friday, and one of them's on today, and the other one's on tomorrow. And They're my guys, and I love them to death, and they know that. And there's real loyalty there in Dungeon family. That's the way we get down at my place. You know who taught me to be like this? Colorado and Gary Barnett and Chris Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be real careful about what we're throwing around out here at comment boards with all you telephone tough guys. You don't know what you're talking about, dog. It's not your money either. What do you care? Do you want the best players or not, idiots? How do you guys not understand how this works? How do you not understand how this works? How?
They don't understand simple business, Matt. And Matt, with that, this is a perfect segue, Matt. This is exactly why you guys need to head over to 24/7 Sports and go get on the message boards, because Colorado needs to start capitalizing on in-state recruiting. I mean, Colorado hasn't had a 500-yard rusher in the Coach Prime era. Elijah Cromwell was sure look good in black and gold, Matt. But if you guys are watching, get over to buffinsider.com. Go get yourself a 60% off an annual VIP membership on 247sports.com by using that promo code B2BPOD. That is B2BPOD. Go get yourself 60% off annual VIP membership. Get all the latest coverage in Colorado Buffaloes football. Matt will be in there for a Q&A and the message boards to go back and forth with some of you guys about recruiting, etc. But go get your 60% off an annual VIP membership. That's on buffinsider.com. Thank you to Buff Insider and 24/7 Sports for all that they do for the show. Matt, let's continue this talk on recruiting here a little bit, but I kind of wanted to transition more into just roster build in general. We talked about the Big 12's private capital deal last week, and now Kyle Whittingham, who's the head coach up at Michigan, former Utah head coach, predicts 12 to 15 schools will have $50 million rosters after the 2027 recruiting cycle. He says, quote, "There are a few schools that can weather that, but not many. So it's already unsustainable for most schools and is only going to get more so until we come up with a model that provides some guardrails and works for everyone." Agree, disagree, and break this down.
Does there need to be a salary cap? Probably. Yeah. Otherwise, like I said last week, it's going to turn into Major League Baseball, where everything is a feeder to the SEC and the Big Ten. It already is like that. It's like that now. So do they need to put some safety rails on it to ensure competitive balance? Probably. Will they? No. They're not going to do shit. They like the Wild West. The schools that have funding and people that will, commit a crazy amount of money and then, that sell to, that understand the way that this works. Schools that understand how this works are going to make it work. You have the best product in the world that everybody wants.
Yeah, that is true.
And if they're going to do this, we need to have an incredibly high salary cap. Incredibly high. You don't need to limit guys just because smaller schools can't compete. That's not the right answer either. So eventually this is going to be the have and have-nots, and there's going to be 3 tiers. There's going to be like 1AA schools that just do scholarships. There's going to be Division I schools that are in the Mountain West and Pac-12 and Big 12 and shit. And yeah, they'll give you some NIL money, but it's nothing like the upper echelon Big 10 SEC ones. Mm-hmm. And, those 2 other levels are going to be feeders for the upper echelon programs. And the upper echelon programs are going to be able to double, triple, quadruple the amount of money you're making in order to entice you to come play for them because they have unlimited funding. So again, what you have to understand is that everybody with broke mentality is going to hate this, but anybody that understands the way America works, this is open competition, man.
Yeah.
That this means if Texas Tech can secure oil money to go pay players, then schools need to open up their budgets and minds to everything. How do we make money to pay the players?
Mm-hmm.
And that's their job. I don't think personally, I think the fact that the schools ask alumni and people to pay into the NIL fund is ridiculous. And it's over. I mean, you've heard Troy Aikman talk about it.
Exactly.
He made contributions. He made contributions and nothing happened. No one even reached out to him. Why would I do that again? That's the way people think. So again, That stop with the poverty mindset and like the victim bullshit. If you're one of the programs that can't compete with these, the blue blood programs with big budgets are going to trounce everybody else for the rest of time in college football as long as this system's in play. That's the way this works. This is my point on why I'm talking about the Big 12. I don't think the Big 12 is really that appealing anymore. The Big 12 and the Pac-12 and the Mountain West and those three conferences, you might as well be in the same damn conference. If you put the Mountain West and the Pac-12 together, they'd probably compete with the Big 12. I mean, let's be real. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
So, I mean, shit, man. I'm looking at it and being like, what's really the advantage of being in a 16-team conference that you don't play everybody and you could win 10 games and still not get in the playoff? That's not an advantage. That's a supreme disadvantage. And you don't make as much money as the ACC, the SEC, or the Big Ten. But you try and lie to everybody and tell everyone that we're on the same plane, which you're not. So,
yeah.
But again, they were in the old Pac-12, and that conference is a shell of itself also. So I don't know what the right answer is here. I don't know. Win more, make more money so you can go to the Big Ten. Because I've heard many a rumor that the Big Ten wants to stretch from Jersey to LA, and they don't want to have any gaps in the entire time zone region. And if you look at it from the East Coast to Central, and then in the mountain region, it goes dark, and then it picks up again Pacific time. Okay? So if they're at 16 teams right now, which are they 16 or 18? Do you remember?
The Big Ten.
I think they're at 16.
16, I want to say, but maybe I'm
But
wrong.
they need to add 4 schools. Well, it sure looks to me like Colorado and Utah and everybody in that mountain region.
They're 18. So
18. So they want to add 2 more schools. Go get Colorado and Utah, and you connect the dots. Go get Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah, and put them all in the Big Ten, and then you got 22 teams. What do they care? They don't give a shit how big the conference is.
Yeah, but if that happened, then you're
6 teams in, bro. What do they care?
That's true, Matt. But if Colorado went to the Big Ten, then I think this kind of goes back to what we talked about the other day, which is if Colorado went to like the Mountain West or the Pac-12, how easy of a route they'd have to the playoff.
No,
wouldn't that make their route 10
the
times
SEC
harder, even if they expand the playoff?
The Big Ten and the SEC are different, bro. Those other conferences only get 1 team in the playoff. The Big Ten and the SEC get 6 teams in the playoff or more, and they're going to get more as the playoff expands, and you know they are. And they get triple the amount of money, and that's also true. And they have more. If they say that were to happen and those 4 schools were to jump to the Big Ten, and then you have like a Western division and an Eastern division of the Big Ten, okay, or however they split it up, however they decide to do it, that I don't see how that hurts anyone. Indiana just got all that Big Ten money and contributions and went 16-0 and won a national title. Anybody can do it if they can. And I'm not trying to cheapen what they did, but I'm dead serious. Hire the right coach and get the right funding. And Indiana just showed us that anybody can win the national title if you do it right. Period. And anybody wants to say they can't do that shit, Indiana has the most losses in Division I history before this year. The most losses in Division I history before this year. But we're going to sit around and talk about like, oh, we can't do it because we don't have the resources. So get them. Get the fucking resources, and then you'll be able to accomplish these feats and climb the mountain. That's the way this works. Not sit around and bitch about what you don't have.
That is pretty well said, Matt, and that is a good rebuttal to what I said there. Interesting, $50 million rosters. We talked about Colorado having an opportunity to take a $30 million influx of money from the private capital deal from the Big 12. I mean, there's just all kinds of money getting thrown around in college football. It is unbelievable. But Matt, speaking of players getting paid, et cetera, here, this is an interesting story that I want your thoughts on. So
4 tackles.
Yeah, I know it's bad. I mean, he keeps. I love you and Matt in the chat.
$200,000 a tackle.
We get it. We've talked about Jaheim Otis getting that crazy money. I know it's bad. Matt, the family of a former SMU football player were awarded $140 million in a CTE lawsuit this past week. John Davis's family successfully sued the NCAA after he suffered from Alzheimer's and posthumously diagnosed with stage 4 CTE in 2017. He played for SMU in 1955 through 59, dealt with Alzheimer's and stage 4 CTE before his passing. His family's lawsuit against the NCAA took six years, but the jury ultimately ruled that the NCAA knew about the dangers of head trauma, but did not warn players like Davis. I'm really
in 1955.
yes. 1955.
And they sided with him and gave him money?
$140 million.
Holy shit! What?
Yeah.
Who's this guy's fucking lawyer? I'm calling him right now. My head hurts every day. You got money from a guy from 1955?
Yeah. Let me. I'll get you some more details on this.
Okay, then I hope this sets precedent and everyone sues the NCAA into extinction, because the NCAA would bankrupt themselves before they pay this.
Oh God! So I mean, I'm trying to get some more information.
$40 million? How old is this dude? If he was in college in 1955, he graduated in 59, so he's 22, 23, and 59, and it's 26 now. How old is he? Like 90?
I don't even think he's alive anymore.
He's dead, and they gave him $140 million
to the family. Yeah, I think
they gave his goddamn family $140 million. What the fuck did they? No offense, or I'm sorry for cursing, but what did they do exactly to get $140 million? How can you prove that his head's all what? Are you serious? Is this a joke?
No, this is serious, Matt. I mean, this is multiple outlets have published this. This is a real story.
So you're telling me college football players can't get benefits. NFL players get their benefits cut after 5 years. Nobody can find a doctor that'll actually help them in the real world after they get out of playing football, because your care's so good when you're playing football, and then you go see Joe Schmo asshole down the street who's like, could you fill out this paperwork? Why does your shoulder hurt? And you look at him like, did you take all the morphine at the doctor class? What are you talking about? Why does my shoulder hurt? What? So, and this guy gets $140 million and he's dead? How is this good? Oh, I'm sure glad his kids that didn't play football and don't have CTE got all this money. That's awesome. NCAA, what the?
And so JT Davis's son, John Mark Davis.
I'm calling a lawyer, bro. Who is the lawyer that got this done? This guy's a superhero.
I don't know. I'll figure it out. But he testified that his mother had to quit her job to provide full-time care for his father before he died of stroke. Quote, players like my dad should have been warned about the risks of playing college football, and the NCAA should have done more to study this issue, he said. Matt, don't
in 1955.
This is 1955. This
in
is
1955. They should have studied CTE.
This is what I don't understand. Don't you know something's gonna happen to you if you play? Like this, I walked into football knowing, this is a definite risk. Like you know that too. Like I don't know. This blows my mind, especially $140 million. Holy moly!
I hate the world we live in, bro. It's unbelievable how ass backwards the world we live in is. Like this stupid ass comment. I'm sorry that you're so miserable. Like, yeah, and in an industry where you didn't get paid for 140 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now kids can't get paid. Now you're giving them shit for maximizing their expertise. I'm sorry, the market value for an offensive lineman is high if you're good, but that's the way it should be, because y'all can't do it. That's for goddamn sure. Let's be real. All right. There's what? How many NFL players in the history of the league? Under 10,000? How many people have been alive since the NFL's been around? A lot. Yeah, do those percentages on why you guys can't make that kind of money, and you're so mad about it. Oh, you're trash. Dude, sit in your basement, Chicago backhand yourself, and understand that you're not worth more than the minimum wage you make. Chump.
You are funny, man. What are there going to be more? Is this going to set a precedent?
Maximizing himself. What?
Yeah, well, I mean, kids in recruiting, you're not naturally going to go get.
So
as much
what,
as you
should they
can.
take
Football
less
ain't
money?
forever. I mean,
Hey, kid, we're gonna give you $1 million to come play tackle. No, I only want 400,000 because some troll on the internet said I was a bad guy because you're paying me. Are you high?
yeah, Matt, it doesn't make sense. That is for sure. But yeah, with this, I mean, Matt, there's money on the table here. $140 million. You need to go holla at
You need
the
to.
lawyer.
You play college football, bro. Start drooling on yourself right goddamn now and call this guy.
No, God. All right, Matt. No, we're not.
No, but like I'm not being. I know I'm joking a little bit, but I'll also be dead serious. Okay, so the reason I haven't gone after my total and permanent disability benefit in the NFL, okay, which I earned because I have my full vest. The reason I haven't gone after my benefit is because I had lawyers, two of them, tell me that I needed to act effed up at the appointment. More than I already am. Headaches, can't remember shit, can't sleep, have had 5-level cage fusion, my neck's all destroyed, I've got severe stenosis, I've got multiple concussions, and I need to act like it? What? Crooked. And then they're like, yeah, we can get you more money if you act like it. And I'm like, acting? I'm not a very good actor, bro. My poker face is terrible. This is not going to work. I'd rather just not do it. If I have to go lie to the people to get the benefit I earned with my backbone, if I have to lie to the people in the National Football League and the doctors, and I do that with air quotes because a lot of you guys that are doctors are just chumps that wear white vests. But I have to lie to get the benefit that I earned. I'd rather just not do the benefit, bro. And it's like $12,000 a month for the rest of my life. And I'd rather not do it and not go in there and drool all over myself and act like I'm more messed up than I am. Because there is somebody out there that's more messed up than me, guaranteed. And you're going to tell that guy he has to act too, and he can't get his benefit either. And he's hanging on for dear life, and he can't sleep, and he's all fucked up. And you think it's funny, and we should act? Should we act?
That's so
the audacity of some people. It's unbelievable to me. Like, I understand that all you guys think that it's all about the money and shit, but if it was all about the money, then I'd listen to that scumbag lawyer, and I wouldn't have fired him. And now I'm so tainted by it, I don't even want to talk to the NFL. Keep your money. F that benefit. It doesn't do shit anyway. If I got to act to get it anyway, what's the point in having it?
Right.
I can't just walk in and say, look at everything that we've been through. I have my full pension. This is what this is set up for. Instead of, hey, get a good lawyer so he can tell you how to finagle and fuck the system. And we can act like we're more screwed up than we are. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Matt, one more piece of Colorado news before we have our special guest join the show here, Back in Black, the premier show for Colorado Buffaloes football coverage. Matt, former Colorado quarterback Kaden Salter has signed to the BC, British Columbia, the Lions up in British Columbia. Congratulations to him joining the Canadian Football League. Matt, thoughts here?
Good for him. Go up to Canada and see what you can see. That's a good league. My boy Mustafa Johnson plays up there. I think Mustafa's a definite NFL football player, but it just didn't work out for him yet. Cameron Wake played in the CFL for 9 years before he got to the league, and then had like 100 sacks in the NFL. Exactly. So I think that this is just another opportunity to go play. And Salter, this is what I'm talking about. Use all of this. You got an opportunity. Go up there, ball out, and pull a Warren Moon, dog. Warren Moon went up to CFL and tore it up, and then came to the NFL. Like, I don't know. I think Warren was a rookie when he was 30.
I can't remember.
I mean, that's like some Chris Winkie shit, but Winkie just went and tried to play baseball. So I think Warren was maybe I'm a little off on that, but I'm pretty sure he played in the CFL for a long time. Yeah. Went to Washington. When did he go to the Houston? Because he was the highest paid free agent in history at that point when he got signed by the Oilers coming out of the CFL.
He signed with the Oilers in 1984 after his CFL career. 5 years, $5.5 million.
5 years, can you imagine? 5.5 million was
That
like
time.
record breaking NFL money back in the day. That's like a backup center now.
Yeah, it's crazy how times have changed with the money, indeed. But yeah, Warman is a legend for sure. But without further ado, we got a special guest joining Back in Black. But before that, I wanted to kind of remind you guys here, go head over to the message boards on 247 Sports, BuffInsider.com. Go get over there, get 60% off an annual VIP membership by using our code B2BPOD. As B2BPOD. Get on the message board, talk that talk here, and things are only going to ramp up as we get closer to a massive season for Colorado in 2026. But like I mentioned, 60% off annual VIP membership. That's B2B Pod. Use that promo code. And thank you to 24/7 Sports and Buff Insider for all they do for the show. Matt, without further ado, we got a special guest joining the show, and this is going to be a great interview. Our main man, somebody been on the show before, and we're really glad to have him back after his special day over the weekend. Our main man, class of 2027, 4-star offensive lineman, the #1 offensive lineman in Colorado, and now UCLA commit with Coach Bob Chesney. Our main man, Jackson Roer, joins the show. Jackson,
What's
how you
up?
doing, my man? Thank you for
Doing
joining
great.
us.
How about you guys?
Good.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
My God, look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the smile on that face. That's what I'm talking. So Jackson Roer, Cherry Creek High School. He played for Dave Logan down there, obviously. Surrounded by great players, right?
Yes, sir.
Creek's the tone setter in the state of Colorado. Everyone's chasing them. I think we're going to get you this year at Vista, though. Nick,
We'll see. We'll see.
I can't wait.
We'll see.
But you've earned this opportunity. You busted your ass at 6-0 and at Regis, and before you went to Creek, and everything that Creek provides also with Coach Betty and everything he does, and Coach Logan and his platform, and being surrounded by other great players. It's led to this moment.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
And you commit to UCLA. You as the #1 player in the state of Colorado. Your boy Reese Russell commits to Washington today, back to back.
Yep.
UCLA and
Congrats to
Washington
Reese.
play each other. SC and UCLA play each other. Like, everybody's going to play each other. I can't wait. Just talk about your journey here a little bit through the last year, mainly, I guess, but just really everything, bro. There's so many people that you could congratulate and give thanks to. I know you won't get to them all, but I wanted to give you the platform here for a good minute and a half, 2 minutes before we get started in on the questions. So just talk about your journey a little bit, Jack.
Yeah, so I think the big thing, funny part, baseball player for a long time. So that was, did the baseball thing, and then, get into a freshman in high school, enrolled at Regis Jesuit High School. Got the start, was a tight end, defensive end. I was 6'3", 6'4", and 225. So I was light, trying to be a tight end, and I had a great year, though. But honestly, and it leads to, the decisions today, but I want to get on the field, and I want to make an impact. So same kind of mentality going into freshman year of high school was I want to play varsity. I want to get on the field and get reps, and that's exactly what I did. I was able to play varsity as a freshman and had a great year. Love all those guys, especially the Regis D-line group. That was a group. I love those guys, and they really made me kind of get that excitement from football. That's something that I never found in baseball, and I've always liked to compete. My whole life has always been about competition, and whether that's, usually for me it's revolved around sports, football, baseball, basketball, but the physical aspect of competing. Baseball, I'm swinging a bat and throwing a little ball, and basketball, I mean, if I'm physical, I'm getting thrown out of the game. I'm fouling out. So football is something that I could use, what I love in that physical competition, and, just kind of accentuated that growth and everything that I wanted to do from the football side. And so freshman year was huge. Thank you. There were some issues with the Regis staff, but, appreciate those guys for giving me the opportunity in general and to play early. And, that whole group of guys was legit. And, special shout out, because this whole process has been driven through my parents, really. I mean, my mom and my dad, 2 younger brothers. We have such a tight-knit family. I love my family. That's a big part of, that's part of the reason I work really hard. Is
they are the shit. Yeah. That is true.
Yes, sir. And to give them those experiences, I mean, it's just huge. It's really exciting, and love my family. But again, going into sophomore year, this is freshman baseball season. So second semester, kind of that late time in the year, I was, got another inch, so like 6'5", but I was, 280, 285. I put on, my shoulders got big. I got my dad's genes kicked in, so got a lot bigger. And I'm like, I'm an offensive lineman. That's what I do. I kind of just accepted the role, but I love it. And again, today, my dad jokes with me because my dad played defensive line, and he always said, man, I wasn't a big fat guy. Like, I was going to play D-line. I was going to go make plays. But at the end of the day, he wishes he would have played offensive line, because in this, like right now, they're big athletes. I mean, offensive linemen are not big fat dudes who just, we're big athletes and we're able to move. And especially how the game's going today. I mean, those guys on the defense aren't getting any slower, aren't getting any less strong. I mean, those guys are legit. So you have to be a big athlete and be able to move. So I think was a huge part for me. And around that time, that sophomore year, staying mobile and staying able to move, and a huge part playing multiple sports too. I always kept I wasn't in a kick step since I was 10 years old. I was just doing all kind of movements and just, being mobile and being able to move and be athletic in general. And that helped me. And that sophomore year was huge, because these college coaches, they want to compare your sophomore year to your junior year. That's the big year, seeing not necessarily were you a dog, like were you the best on the field your sophomore year, but how big was the jump to your junior year. And, I'm kind of in the line where, a lot of schools are interested in me, but I still got to continue that into senior year. And if I, flatten out, these guys are going to, whoa, his development stopped. What's going on? They want to continue to see you keep rising every year. So that sophomore year was big for me. Playing offensive line, first time really playing offensive line, like fourth grade. Played a little bit of guard, but I was always a big kid, so played on the offensive line. But it was really, first time playing offensive line, learning. And the best part about it, and again, we'll talk about the college aspect of things later, but the best part was I had played varsity as a freshman. It wasn't new to me going in as a sophomore and playing varsity. I understood what happened, the game day preparation. You talk about it's different in college, but walking into, 1,000 people watching the game and it's big and all the student section and everything, I was used to that. So I was able to get and kind of just play the game. And I wasn't the smartest on the field. A lot of that we'll go into with, Matt and coach helping me out with that, but really just being physical and trying to put physical tape on the field. And that was the big thing for me, and had a really good sophomore year. I think we went 6-6 and lost to Valor at the end of the year. That was a great team. Obviously, a lot of good guys there. Lost to them, and that kind of transition. Honestly, that was a big transition for my football career, because that's when, after that season, second semester, I enrolled and started going to McChesney. So I was, entered in, and we had that talk, sit down meeting, and was the right place for me. And you see these guys, Breck, Deacon, all these kids that he's putting out. And it's, wow, there's something special going on there. And if you can handle that trend, it's tough. I mean, we get after it. But if you can handle it, he's going to put you in. If you have the size, if you have the intangible things, he's going to get you there. And that was big for me, and being in there. And it was tough because it's 5 a.m, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Mondays suck in general. Those are just tough. And then Wednesday's competition, going against like Brody Seek. I mean, those kids really helped me in my development. And then Friday, you get technique, and Saturday and Sunday on yoga days are huge too, because it helps me stay mobile. And, like we talked about earlier, being able to move, that's huge. And I would wake up 5 a.m. So I wake up at 3:30 because I got to get all my stuff together for the day and get ready, go to, Matt's, train, and leave like 6:15, go to Regis workouts, lift for an hour, then do school. Then I would have baseball practice after school, and I'm getting home at like 6:30, 7 o'clock every night. And it was tough. It was a grind, but that's what you needed. And it really built my mental toughness, built, who I am today. And it was a huge part of my development. And doing that.
Off in the butt, Jake Jones. No geeking. See, the yoga D's been around forever. Even Jake's one of my old teammates from CU. He even knows. Soften the butt, no geeking. We're going to candle gaze for 20 minutes.
Yes, sir. No, but all that was just huge for my development, and being in the gym was a really important part, and kind of helped me. We'll go into, junior year, but really helped me develop the mental side of the game too. Not just mentally like this is going to suck, you're going to be tired, you got to push through it, but just understanding football. I didn't really understand football that sophomore year. It was a lot of physicality. The biggest jump I feel like I made from sophomore to junior year was understanding the game. I understand where I need to be, how the blocks are supposed to go. And there's a lot that goes into it. And not only understanding my job, but everybody on the line's job. And knowing what the defense is going to do too. I mean, those are huge things that help me be way better this year than last year. But after that, we're grinding for a couple months, and you go into camp season. This was big for me. No offers. Like when I stepped into the gym, no offers. Schools come by, but like real interest or anything. Go into camp season, and this is a cool story for me. I love telling this because I'm in my dad's office right now. I don't got my own office, but we sat. There's a TV right here, and we sat there, and my dad's like, we went through colleges, pick a couple colleges from each conference, and what was just based on from outside in. What do you like? Like just talking, and then he's like, hey, obviously with the help of coach, he's gonna get those connections and get us in with the coaches, but. You pick where you want to go. And a lot of people were in my ear telling me, oh, go smaller places, and no offense to these schools, but, go to UNC, go to Wyoming, go to CSU. And I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I want to see where I'm at. I want to go compete against the best dudes in the country. And if I fail, at least I know what good looks like. But if I never do that, then, I always have that, I might not be where I am today. And so push it. I say I'm going to go. I think it was OU, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Alabama. Were
like a line, right? Didn't you go for like an entire 2 weeks or something?
Yeah, exactly. It was camp. I mean, Ole Miss and Alabama were back-to-back days. That was cool, but just super excited. And all the training and all that work and preparation came to and coach getting us in contact and flying out to the camps. And now it's my time to perform, right? Everybody's helped me and done the things around me, but now it's my time to go out there and prove it. And I did pretty well.
Talk about the Oklahoma. The Oklahoma one set it off with Coach Beatenbaugh. And you went to that camp and just absolutely dominated. So good run with that.
Yeah, no, they had. So Coach Beatenbaugh was the first coach that walked into Regis. This was early first semester, around that time, whatever. Walked into Regis, and I was like, "Oh, I know that school. I know that guy. Like that. That's a huge. It was a big time guy walking in. I was like, that's legit." And I went to that camp freshman year summer and did all right. But again, I had never played offensive line. But that was the time where I was just trying it out. But it was, hey, come back next year, and they want to see that development again. Came back and just was a whole different player. I mean, a lot of credit to Matt and the work we did.
It's you, brother.
But just a completely different player walking in, and they saw that. They saw, the leadership and the drills. And I'll give Matt credit for this, though. There's a way to do camps. I mean, if you're, a guy watching, a young kid who's going to go out to these camps, I mean, you get every rep you can. That was one thing is screw that guy. If he doesn't want to go, I'm gonna skip him. I'm gonna get my reps and playing multiple positions too. And this is something that I still value. And I tell all the coaches, and obviously being committed to UCLA now, I can play all 5 spots. I snap. I play guard, and I'm long enough, and I can play tackle. And that's what I would do at camps. Whatever the shortest line was, I was going in that spot, jumping guys, and that's the biggest thing: getting reps and showing these coaches you want to be there and you're there to compete. And there was a really good defensive lineman there. I think a kid he had a Georgia offer. He was looking for the OU offer. And, we had a great battle back and forth, but I got him more times than not. And just, great job, and got the offer there. Got to sit in Coach Venable's office. And, I had already built relationships with those guys. But that started it off. And I was like, I that kind of set the tone for me and the expectation. I was confident in myself, but then going to that camp and doing that, now there's a new level of confidence. Now there's, I can really do this. I'm here. And, nobody can tell me that I can't, because I just went here and balled out. So then going to, the next couple of camps and receiving offers from like 5 out of the 6th. I still think about the Tennessee because they never offered me, but it's okay. We're good. But
the things that motivate us, brother. I love it.
but every other school got an offer from, and great conversations. And I want to do a little shout out to Coach Cushing at Texas A&M. Love those guys. But on that camp visit, and this kind of set the tone for my junior year, but he said on the camp visit after I got the offer, we're talking, and some of these, it just depends, right? Committable, non-committable. But we asked him, is this a committable offer? He said, son, no, not right now. It is not a committable offer. We need to see your, first couple games of your film to see, we think this is you that we just saw at camp. We need to see if you can do that in the game and understanding. And he said, the words that will always stick with me is, it's my job every year to recruit somebody better than you and play over you. That's his job. And that's kind of a real sense, is that's the reality of college football. It's a business, and in a sense, there's still relationships. There's a great feel to it, but it's that guy's job to win games. And the head man is job to win games. And if they don't win games, they're going to be out. So you got to think of it that way. His job is to recruit somebody better than you every day. And your job is to prove, hey, you can't go find anybody better than me. This is my spot. And it's kind of that mentality that I took into the junior year, and I still take into the gym, is, I'm going to be the best I possibly can every day and make sure that this guy's not going to be able to recruit someone better than me. So it just, the camp season went super well. Great. Did a really good job. And then going into kind of the rest of the summer, I had already been working out with Creek. So, obviously shout out to Coach Logan, our head coach, just a great motivator of young men.
Yeah, talk about Coach Logan a little bit. Coach Logan, I don't know how he does this, bro, but he kind of flies under the radar. He flies under the radar in Colorado, even still, being the most dominant high school coach ever, being drafted in 3 different sports out of CU back in the day. I don't know how he does it the way he does it, but his level and his standard, his kids are different. His coaches are different. His program is different.
Yes, sir.
That mixed with 6-0 Academy, we've seen it with other guys too, where it's the perfect mixture. It's just the absolute perfect combination. Talk about Coach Logan a little bit, Coach Betty, and the unbelievable support staff you have at Creek.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So honestly, it's different. And talking a little bit about Coach Logan, again, drafted in 3 different sports. He had done it at a high football, baseball, basketball. He knows what good looks like, done it at a high level, and going and playing in the NFL for, 10, 13 years. I forget exactly, but coming and being a high school coach, he was at Mullen, Arvada West, and now has had a run at Creek. But I think he's won 13 state championships, 7 of them, 8 of them.
How many have you won in a row?
It was going to be
you guys won 5 in a row?
So they had the 1 year before I got there. I
know Pomona's the last team to win, and now they're in the 3A.
Yeah, I know. All they've done is win. But I think that, honestly, carrying over to what you were saying, Coach, that is the difference about Creek, is there's an expectation to win. During summer, it was different. And again, nothing against the Regis guys, but it was just different. Coming in and those guys, the expectation is you work your ass off in summer workouts, and you're lifting, speed training, practice. There's nobody's slacking around because everybody knows their job, and that's to go win. And there's some fights, there's some different things because that everybody's getting after it, but everybody has the same goal of we're gonna beat whoever's ass that we're gonna play, right? That's the goal. And so we all kind of, could collect and be a group, and it's really a team environment. It's the best team I've ever been a part of. And going along, to the college lines, that's the exact thing I'm looking for, is that family environment and culture. But all we do is win. We win games, and that's the expectation. And you could see us carry that into the season. 14-0 state champions. We played a really hard game, Carnell Mooney, in Florida, went down to Florida, played them, and that was hot, muggy. First play of the game, I got grass all over my arms and everything. It was different, and that was a really good team, but we never thought we were going to lose. Even when the defense had to get a stop at the end of the game to win, everybody was so confident in our team because what we had been through, and everybody knows that we are putting in the work. There's no stragglers, and even the people who, maybe are behind, we're pulling them to the finish line. Hey, that's not we don't do that here. We win games, and it's a whole mentality, but it starts from the top up. And you see that in college programs too. It's a different mentality, and a lot of that stems from Coach Logan and him knowing how to win. And we joke, there's kind of like an aura. He just has an aura to him that
he does, bro.
Exactly.
He walks into a room and you're like, oh shit,
exactly. That's what I do.
I'm 44 and he still does. I'm going to lunch with him this week, and I'm like, it's Monday, and I'm like, what am I gonna wear to Coach Logan? And I'm like, what am I talking about? What am I gonna wear? Who gives a shit?
Exactly. Well, I was meeting with the coach last week, and he walked in. I was like, I got straightened up, and I was like, oh, Coach Logan's here. So, but he's a different guy. And going along with what Matt said about Coach Betty, and it was such a huge, win for me because two of the best offensive line coaches, I would say, in the country, at least in the region, Coach Betty and Coach Matt, and both of them, different ends of the spectrum on how they coach. Obviously Matt gets after us. But that's the mental toughness of the part of the game that you need, and really the film side of things, being smart, understanding the game. And Coach Betty is such a technician too, and just being able to put those two together on both their coaching was such a big, a blessing for me, honestly, being able to have both of them. But Coach Betty's a great coach. Again, another motivator of young men. He's kind of our hype guy in the locker room. And what a cool thing to have my position coach be the hype man of our whole team.
Amen.
So he just such a great support system at Creek. And honestly, with all the stuff happening in high school, but it's, if you want to be a really good football player, you would go to Creek. I mean, we just do it different. We win games, and we develop too. That's a huge thing, is we develop kids, and kids that might not have the intangibles, but maybe not have the opportunity. If you're going to get developed, and if you love football, you're going to do really well, and they're going to get developed. So that's the spiel on Creek, and we just win games, and I love it. It's been such a great experience, and I'm really excited to be with these guys again. We lost, I think, 8 Power 4 dudes or something that we graduated.
You guys were loaded last year.
Exactly. We were loaded, and we had a ton of dudes graduate and are doing big things in college now. But
I love how everybody's like, oh, they're not going to be as good. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep, okay. We always find a way.
Keep going with that.
Yes, well, that's what people said last year.
Yes, last year you weren't supposed to be any good either. So
exactly. Yeah.
All right. So let's elaborate on this a little bit. You're talking about how your coaches, and obviously there's a lot of people that have had a great influence on you. Bro, we put out your top 10 like a month ago, and UCLA wasn't on it. Now you're committed to them.
Yes, sir.
Coach Chesney, I mean, talking to him on the phone, he got me ready. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to. You got a basement room there. You need somebody to like run to the store. I'm in. So
yes,
he got me going too, and Coach Schmitty and just everybody. And I was talking to Coach Cooper, who's on the business side of things. Deontay Cooper plays CSU Pueblo, and now he's at UCLA. And he just sent me a message like, how in the hell does UCLA, how in the hell does Colorado keep letting these kids out of the state? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. But just talk about UCLA a little bit here, and them coming in the way they did, and just the effect that Coach Chesney and Schmitty and everybody had on your recruitment and where you're going to school. I mean, you're early enrolling there in January, and bro, no offense, I love you, but I can't wait to get rid of you.
Yes, sir. No, so 100% graduating early. That's a big thing for me. Just seeing all these spring practices and the guys who come in early, huge advantage. Practice and getting used to it. So 100% graduating early.
If you don't enroll early, Reese is going to do it. It's got to be because of academics. That's the only reason that I'll accept. Because if you're going to go play college football, bro, get out of here. Go spring ball, go winter conditioning, spring ball, summer, and then you start in the fall instead of getting there in August and expecting to like have success. It's so huge. Smart by you and the other guys to early enroll.
It's a huge difference. And you were right. UCLA was not on my top 10. And it, kind of how we put that, top 10 together at the time, you had relationships with these schools, and kind of our philosophy on things was, game days, camps, junior days, that was all to put schools into the box, right? Schools that I can see myself at. And our plan through spring practices was we're going to take schools out. And, I'm blessed and lucky enough that I have a lot of opportunities to a lot of places. And, I got to make it about the little things, right? It can't be, oh, well, what team wins games? All of them are good. So it really, you have to go down to the small and little things. So that was big for us in spring practice and really being able to be in the meetings, be around the guys, see the coaches, see how, kind of a day is. And that was a big part for us in our kind of recruitment process. And I would say they jumped in the mix because, we were just, again, visiting these schools. And the three things that I always talk about with all these coaches is family and culture, which you judge that based on being there. You can do that over the phone, but you can't really. So that we'll leave that one out, but that's the one we would find at spring practices. And then education and schools who compete, or coaching staffs that, compete at a high level. And competition means two things for me. I want to go in and compete first spot. That's me. I want to play. And, I feel that I can play anywhere. But, what's the opportunity look like, and where am I going to go in and have an impact early? And competition, I wanted to be in the Big Ten or the SEC. Those are the two big conferences, and you're playing first-round draft picks every single week. And that was huge for me, and I wanted to be developed in that kind of sense. But if they had those two things, education and were able, competition, then we were going to go visit them for a spring practice and see it. Amen. And, find that family and in what, the culture is like. So, and UCLA was our last spring practice that we went to. And it was honestly, funny story. We were supposed to be at Oregon, and Oregon had kind of not in the sense of we wanted to go to Oregon, but the Pacific Northwest and that whole thing. Again, if I'm not a guy and I'm not wanted, I have all these other schools that really want me. So it was kind of a cooling by both me and Oregon at the same time. Hey, this might just not be the best fit.
But the business side of this that a lot of people don't understand is just business.
Yeah, exactly. So that's whole thing. And, I try not to get into that stuff, but everybody should know. I mean, there's a huge part of today's, game and college football, the business side of things. And one of the ways
as it should be, folks.
Yes,
as it should be.
Yes, sir. And as you can tell that getting recruited, you can tell from the GMs and from the guys up top, what numbers and everything, that's a reflection of how they think about you. And it's the reality of today is if you're not one of those guys, you kind of know where you sit. Everybody can say we really want you and we want you to be a big part and come in and play, but that should reflect what you think of me. So anyway, but that is a huge part, right? So, but going into UCLA, it was 4/18, so April 18th, and we were going to kind of go to Oregon at the 20th, and we decided, hey, let's, these guys, we had built great relationships over the phone with the recruiting department, Coach Schmitty, Coach McChesney. I think these guys did a great job, and I compliment them a lot, and other schools did a great job of this too, but really making me feel wanted and being a big part of what they were doing. I mean, it was calls. And you get the text about, this is how many guys I put in the NFL, or this is what I've done, or, a quote or something, or, hey, how's the family? How's everything going? 5-minute call. These guys, it was every day, and it was either a meaningful text about, how are you doing? What's things going on? Or a conversation, and it was all real. It all felt like real communication and real talk, and guys who really wanted me, they just wanted the opportunity for come on campus and see me and be around. And they were like, we have all this, this is what we have to offer. And going from JMU, a staff that is electric, and we can get into that, but guys who love what they do and getting into that. And now going to UCLA, they have the resource. And you've seen that, getting all the commitments and things. They're going on a run right now. They have the resources. They have the help. Everyone wants to see them do well, especially, and I'll give credit to SC, the things that they're doing, I think kind of woke up, a beast in UCLA. Hey, we're not going to let, the school up here, just get all good now, and we're not going to do anything about it. So they are, now that they have a coach.
I can't wait for that game, by the way. I know you and Breck are going to play each other, but bro, I cannot wait to be on the sidelines down there and watching you ball on one side and him ball on the other side and just sit there like, look at my guys.
Yes, sir. No, I can't wait. It's going to be electric, and I love those guys. But I think that kind of woke up what they were doing, and they're going to put a lot of effort now that they have a coaching staff that they believe in and are keen to supporting, through resources, and they have the number one public education, in the country. Like, that's a big thing for my family is the education aspect of things and life after football. There was just so many positives that led to us say, we're going to go visit here. Let's go take the visit, these guys and again, those calls weren't from, I love the recruiting guys, right? I love them, but it wasn't from just random recruiting guys. It was Coach McChesney, Coach Schmitty's calling me every other day. Like it's the guys who are calling me.
And that means something. It means something. When the head man and the offensive line coach are the tip of the spear, not the guy holding the shield.
Exactly. And there's a lot of kids. There's a lot of really talented dudes. And when you feel a part and a big part of what they're trying to do, that was a different feel for me. And, going into kind of the spring practice, the big thing for me that I kind of learned throughout was go where you're wanted. My dad said it since I was young and all aspects of life, but be where you're wanted, go where you're wanted, because you're going to get the most opportunity to succeed. You're also in a game that's really hard and mentally tough. You're going to get the most opportunity to fail at the same time and come back and be even better. So there's a lot of benefits.
One failure doesn't mark you as a failure. What do we always say at the gym? You're not losing your learning. So that's the same mindset, bro. Amen.
Yep. And they're going to pour those resources into you because not only do they want you to be good, they need you to come in and make an impact. You're their guy. And there's something to be said about that. But anyway, going into, the spring practice, I go into every, thing with an open mindset and really evaluating, the place. And we absolutely loved our time. And again, something that sticks out, I didn't walk by a single person on the UCLA staff that didn't say, "Oh, what's up, Jackson? Mom, Dad, love having you guys. Like, love that you're here. Can't wait to spend the rest of the day with you guys." That means something to me. You go other places, and again, a lot of places did a really good job, but it's just kind of like your guy, and the offensive line coach sees you, and it's these guys. Every single person in the building knew who I was, knew my parents, knew what we were doing, and why we were there, and it's a huge difference. And so we had we had a great visit. I mean, love the practice, love obviously. The weather is amazing coming from Colorado and stuff where you never know what you're going to get. Exactly what you're going to get there. 82 and sunny. It's beautiful. It's perfect. And
the beach.
Just had an amazing practice. Honestly, it was great being able to be in the meetings, be with the guys. And honestly, a lot of credit to Coach Schmitty. And I'm going to be completely honest here. That was the big concern going into the weekend was I didn't know a lot about Coach Schmitty. And I didn't know Coach Schmitty, the offensive line coach, just so everybody knows who I'm talking about. Coach Schmitty, the offensive line coach. Yep.
Great coach.
I didn't know a lot about him. And coming from a guy like, Matt, who knows the game, who knows technique, who's going to develop you, I didn't know if I was shorting myself from someone like Coach Cushing or Coach Harding at Michigan, some of these guys, was I going to shorten myself going to UCLA with my position coach? And it was the exact opposite. Got in that meeting and you could see him teaching the guys on the board and the meeting beforehand, having practice and seeing him, do the technique, run through everything on the field, and then going into our personal meeting that we got to have. And we talked, first coach to talk to me about, he has NFL experience too, being at Holy Cross and putting those guys in the NFL is a big deal. Coaches want to talk about, well, I got this guy and this guy to the NFL. Well, you transfer there and only had him for a year, and he was a 5-star coming out of high school. I mean, there's a difference when you're taking guys who nobody thought was going to be good. Nobody thought they were going to be good, and you're taking I think you put 5 guys in the NFL there, and then going to JMU and having that background, and now being at UCLA where he's going to get these top-level offensive linemen, and having that NFL experience too. We got on the board, talked about the combine. All the, everything that goes with that, how to be prepared for that, how those guys are going to sit down and really test you on your ball knowledge, what physically, like all this stuff, the meetings, everything. And not only did that, but also break down my film, break down what they do, had these conversations, and it was just nothing but positive. And you could tell, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about, and this guy's really going to be able to develop me.
And talk about the one of the first things you said to me was like, I sat down to talk ball with him, and we actually talked about ball and technique and scheme and terminology, and it was like almost exactly what I say in the meeting room, same terms. I think it's look, I understand you coaches put guys in left, right, and in the middle. I get it. each individual is different, right? Each guy has different needs. That's what really stuck out to me. Because one thing that I really pride myself on, and one thing we pride ourselves on at 6-0, as you know, is the mental side of things. Like, I think Breck's the smartest guy at SC. I think Deacon's the smartest guy at Oklahoma. I think you're the smartest guy at UCLA. I think Reese is going to be the smartest guy at Washington, right? Henning's the smartest guy at Arizona. Bates is the smartest guy at SMU. Like, there's a reason that so many of us play center at some point in our career too. Zune just getting drafted and starting at center for him right now in minicamp. So talk about that a little bit. Just not only did you talk about what they have done, but you talk about what they're going to do with you, and then the terminology overlaps, and you're in there having a conversation like you're in 6-0 having a conversation.
Yes, sir.
Talk about that a little bit.
Exactly. So, and I think that's a huge part, especially if you're trying to come in and play early. And we work on a lot scheme, right? Because scheme never changes. Everybody's got 11 guys, right? You run the same kind of concepts, but the terminology changes and how people call it and what they do. And learning, you're able to learn the playbook if you understand football and understand scheme. But the quicker you can do that, the better. And if you use the same terminology, that's huge. And in a way that, and I think what I said to Matt was, you can tell, I'm pretty sure it's an NFL thing, not just what a coincidence that we're using the same terminology. He has NFL experience. Obviously, Coach Matt has NFL experience. And seeing how that's going to translate to me going to the NFL and having these guys pretty much all calling it similar or the same kind of idea, scheme, and way. And that was huge for me in seeing that. And that's a big thing. And just the development part, again, you want to be somewhere where you want to get developed. And seeing him do that was huge. And having that meeting and seeing, hey, he could really develop me into the player that I want to be. So that was a big part of it. And Coach Schmitty and the relation between those guys. But that was the biggest question going into that weekend was, hey, is he going to be able to be that guy who's going to develop me? Check that box, right? It was great. And then had a meeting with the OC and the Coach Kennedy. And the other thing about that, all they talked about was how they're going to run an NFL pro style offense. And some schools do the thing where it might be successful in college, but that's not how the NFL does things. And it's also they run one or two versions of inside zone. The NFL, you're running, and we talk about this, in the dungeon. There's 13, 14 different ways to run inside zone to the left, like they're in different formations and all these things. And if you can learn that at college, how is that transition going to be to the NFL? And when you get into the combine and you're having these meetings, which in reality is the most important part of it, all the testing is really cool and the intangibles are great. But if you get in the meeting and you can't, identify a front, there's something wrong, right? Exactly. And so that's the biggest part. And being able to do that and understand it was huge. So from, the offense and how they're going to run the offense from the OC, that was a big thing for me too, understanding that. And then obviously, having to talk with Coach Chesney at the end, like just huge. I mean, that guy, how I've described him to people is he absolutely loves what he does. And someone who has a background of, not coaching at the Power 4 level, and now that he has the resources, now that he has these things and how practice was run and how he treats the players, he loves where he's at. He loves what he does. And all he wants to do is pour into the kids and make sure that this place is going to win games and they're going to develop. But someone who just loves what they do. And you can feel that energy. And we talk about this too. If you're going to wake up every single day and life's going to be hard. I mean, college football is tough. There's tough days and there's going to be hard days. But if you can wake up and love the group and people that you're around and love who you're playing for and who you're working hard for, and they show that same, respect and attitude towards you, you're going to have a way better experience than I'm waking up, excuse my language, fuck, I don't want to be here today. Why am I here today? And the other part of why we were so thorough through this process was I didn't want to have any doubt when I put my pillow on the bed and, it was a tough day or I got beat a lot. Well, damn, that school treated me really well. I should have gone back there and took a look. You're already 1 foot out the door. And especially in the day of the transfer portal, that's the last thing I want to do is I don't want to transfer. I want to go one place and play my years and, hopefully get an opportunity to go to the NFL. But that was big. That was big on our process on how we did it. But coming back from the visit, I mean, just loved our time, loved everything about it. Meeting with D-Ray, the GM too. I mean, just a great talk. And obviously there's the money side of things, but a lot of the schools were around the same and was equal. I mean, for me, it was really going back to, again, who did you want to be around? Who wanted you and who wants you to be a big part and succeed? And there's something to be said about being around, something that's on the rise, not necessarily going somewhere that's just been good and you're just another piece. You get to be the change. And honestly, I know this is kind of a Buff Insider CU show, but that was a great pitch they gave to me. And if there was different situations, you can be the change to what's going on. But I feel the same thing in a better situation for me at UCLA, that now that they have these coaches in the right situation, I can go in and make an impact early and be a change on this program and bring it to the heights that it wants to be at. And that's huge for me. And again, just another point. So the visit, went really well, came home, and this is at a time where a lot of coaches are coming by school and doing home visits. The next week, D-Ray, the GM, is at our house, in our living room, having dinner with us, and honestly wanting to accentuate the process in a way, but wanted it, he kept referring to me as though, I want this to be your decision. There was no rush in this process because I want guys who want to be here. There was no pressure. There was nothing. For me, there was a decision that I had to make. And we heard, again, shout out to a guy, Coach Elko, the head coach at A&M, gave us great advice. And the advice that he gave us was, you're going to, you've done such a great job. And all these coaches saw it through our process. You have done such a great job of being, the little details and seeing it out and making factual claims about these schools and what they have to offer. And now you're going to go on official visits and you're going to leave it up to a 48-hour party. And then you're going to make a decision off of an emotional decision off of an OV when you have all the factual information that you need right now to make the best decision. Especially for me coming off an injury, why would I want to wait, 3 more months, 2 more months, not know where I'm going, not be able to be in the playbook? I've already hit up the strength coach and nutritionist and getting a plan and getting everything that I need to do. But why would I waste that time, trying to figure out a school and take all the pictures and do all the party? I mean, that's just not me as a person in general, but also a waste of time when I have the facts right now. And now that I'm committed, I can use that time to continue to be the best football player possible and be in the gym, be in the film room, understand all these things. And it was the best decision for me. So I kind of made that decision maybe a week before I committed on, hey, I'm okay with being done with this process. It's been great. The OVs are going to be a lot of fun, but it's not what's best interest for me. So made the decision, hey, we're not going to take the OVs. We want to get this process kind of quicken up, and we're going to, soon to make a decision. And again, D-Ray coming to the house, showing how bad they wanted me. They want me to be a part of this program, continuing the momentum through the process. And, I'm so thankful. I have a great team of me, my agent, Cliff, at Prospects, Coach McChesney helping me this whole time throughout my recruiting, my parents, our whole, the guys at Creek, Coach Logan and Betty. My whole team was just such a massive part of this process and helping me make the best decision possible for me. And, coming down to it, there was a couple of schools that, I was really interested in and, felt this decision that, there was something just different about UCLA and the fact that they need me to come in and make an impact. And I felt they wanted me the most and had done the most. And that was kind of, I felt at peace making that decision on. And the biggest thing for me was, do I have an opportunity? If I fail, is it something else or was it on me? And I looked at UCLA. I said, coming back from the visit and talking with the guys, there's not something bad that I can say about this place. And they didn't have anything that was like, well, the training room wasn't as good, or, I don't have the education, or some, the offense line coach isn't as good. So if I don't succeed in the next couple of years, I can turn around and blame that. There was nothing there at UCLA. They're giving me all the opportunity, all the access to be the best possible football player I can be. And that's comforting to me because at the end of the day, if I don't do my job, if I don't prove it, then it's my fault. And I can look at myself and say, you didn't work hard enough. You didn't do the right things. But that just shows that I'm in the right position where there's no exterior factor that I can blame for, my success or my failure. And that was, the comforting part of that decision. And, made the decision, released it on Friday. And just an amazing, again, celebratory. It was super cool. Again, being able to call those guys and tell them, hey, I'm in, I love it. I'm super excited. And, not a lot of people talk about it, but the tough part about that is sitting in the same office in the morning and at night and calling, the coaches that had really poured into me. I had 34 offers. I didn't call 34 coaches, but I called 10 guys, 10, 15 dudes who were really recruiting me. And it's tough. It's tough to have those conversations because guys have poured a lot of energy, a lot of their resources and everything into me as a player. And again, I'm so big on relationships and the people that I know. And to tell those guys no is tough for me, right? It was tough. But at the end of the day, it's what you have to do. And I was not going to shy away from that and send a lousy text or just not say anything. It was big for me to call these guys and have a real talk about, this is the school I've chosen. And, I appreciate you and all the time that you've put into me. And, that's how it is. And, some guys handle it better than others. And some guys are real respectful. But at the end of the day, it was great. It was a character development moment for me and seeing that, but also going and being part of the spring game this weekend kind of just, reset my mind on this is the place. Those calls were tough and guys are saying stuff and you have doubts. That's the right decision. And going there this weekend just, solidified that I am in the right place for me. This is the perfect situation. And I'm going to have nothing but, a road to success here. And just, really cool. And finishing up the weekend, had a great time, loved watching it, being a part of it. And as you guys have seen, UCLA is kind of going on a run of getting some commits.
Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to elaborate on that a little bit here before we get you out of here, Rope. But last year, they brought in Cam Jensen, big tight end. They brought in Jaden Fox, outstanding running back from Cherry Creek.
Yes, sir.
And DJ Bordeaux, who was the outstanding quarterback over at Legend. And he was a Final Four quarterback last year.
Yes, sir.
Weren't they? That was the incredible game against Valor.
Well,
right?
I don't know if it wasn't Final Four. It was the Final 8 because they played Valor.
Right, but it was last play of the game.
To play us. Yep.
And he's a hell of a player. So and then now they come in and bag you in this year's class. Just talk about not only what UCLA is doing, but talk about the state of Colorado now. There's so much talent here. There's so many players. You work out with almost, half of them at 6-0 Football Academy. The other half are at Creek. Just talk about the state of Colorado and just how the diamonds in the rough that are here from a recruiting perspective. Then we'll get you out of here, Doug.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So, and again, appreciate you guys having me today. Like, huge opportunity to be able to share and have this platform. So thank you. Touching on kind of what's happening at UCLA. I mean, these dudes, you can tell there's something special going on. There's a new movement and people believe in what is going on. And, what a great time to be a part of that. I am so excited, to be a big impact in that. So, and you can tell, we'll see. We're going to keep getting dudes. And, like Coach said, I love being in the gym. I love being here, being at Creek, being with my people. But I'm excited for this next step because I'm prepared and I know I'm going to do everything in my power to be the best possible football player I can be. So just super excited. And, to kind of finish out that college process, really excited. And shout out to all the guys at UCLA for giving me an opportunity too, to be a big part of what they're doing. So super exciting. But going on to Colorado and the talent in Colorado, it's honestly crazy because I give a credit to a couple of schools, UCLA doing a really good job. I feel like K-State is another one that does a great job about recruiting Colorado kids. And there's other ones too. But guys are fine, especially, I'm a little biased, but offense and defense alignment here, and a lot of that goes to credit with Det Betty at Creek. A lot of that goes to credit with Matt McChesney here and what we do in the dungeon. But we produce offense and defense alignment like every other state. And we also have, the great quarterback, the great wide receiver that also come out of here, and just a ton of kids who want to work hard and develop. And I think we don't get kind of the shine because, maybe it's not – because same thing for baseball. Honestly, it's funny how, connected these things are. Baseball is kind of a flyover state in Colorado too, because the kids aren't – you can't play year round. It's snowing. There's things going on. It's freezing cold. So Colorado kids are traveling all over to play these teams. If you're in Florida, if you're in Texas, I mean, these guys have spring ball. We don't have spring ball till the summertime when we can put on pads. But it's a different feel. But I think when these teams are realizing that, and especially, again, I love the guys at CU. They recruited me pretty hard at the end of my process. But if they don't kind of pick it up and learn to recruit the state, I mean, these guys are going to continue to take really talented dudes out of Colorado. And that's kind of been the thing. And you've seen your track record, Coach, of guys you're putting in the league and putting to these great colleges. And, eventually people will realize, but that's the big part in Colorado, a lot of talented kids. And especially when you get to the top tier dudes, that they can play with anyone in the country.
Dudes.
And I think we see that.
Well, I mean, look at the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what did Colorado have drafted this year? They only had 2 guys go. 2,
Yeah.
I think. 2. And then AK went undrafted to the Lions. But Pregnon, the big guard, that's his name, right? He went to Thomas Jefferson and then went to Wyoming and transferred to Oregon, went 3rd round. Trey Zune, okay, I loved in their press conference with Trey. They're like, so you're super versatile. You can play all the positions. How do you feel about that? He's like, normal. This is what I do. He goes to Balsa Ridge. Trey tore his ACL before his senior year. Didn't even play his senior year, and goes in the 3rd round at Texas A&M, and is arguably, and I'm biased here, but I'm not the one that said this. I think he's the best offensive lineman in the history of that school. And they said that the modern era, he's like the top guy. He's got the most awards, the most starts. Maybe he didn't go higher than some of the other guys first round wise, but his versatility, that kind of shit makes me proud as a coach. So listening to Roper talk about that, one of these days, hopefully the in-state schools will pay a little bit more homage to the guys that are in the state.
Exactly.
Hey, you got any questions for Roper?
Jackson, man, congratulations on committing to UCLA. So excited to see you go play, go against Breck every year and SC.
Yes,
that's going to be really exciting. Man, just before we get you out of here, give me your favorite Matt McChesney story, your favorite time, 6-0 Academy. I'm sure there's all kinds of times, 5 a.m., Matt's yelling, cussing at you, something. Just give us your favorite Matt McChesney story before we get you out of here.
All right, I got to think about this. There's been a couple of moments. So I think, hold on. And these are both, I'm going to go related to me because everybody sees the internet stuff, right? I'm thankful I haven't been, dumb enough to be on the internet yet and be on one of the viral clips. So I'm happy for that. But I think first moment, and this is a hard thing for me because, you're getting after my ass. But I remember doing the kick steps on the bags with the FTS bar in hand, close grip, and we're kicking. And I swear, it was not my fault. I don't know what was happening, but every time the bar, I would shoot my hands, hit the bag, I would keep kicking, and the bar would get stuck. Like it's the bag and then the bar and bar. It would get stuck in between the bars. And I tell you, I did this drill like 10 times in a row, and I'm dead tired. I can't move. But again, that's that mental toughness that is just different in here. Nobody else in Colorado is going to push you to that level because the guys in the NFL, you can't do something. I mean, you're out. There's so much talent, and Matt is going to continue to push you. So that was a funny, tough moment for me. A great time, and looking back on that, just how much I've grown as a player. And I will never let that happen to me again. And Coach is probably writing it down in his notes that we're going to do that drill again.
Exactly. And I'm like, make sure tomorrow in the workout we do this drill.
But it just, that was a great story. And then another story, Forbidden Sled Day. This was earlier in my time there. I can't remember exactly. And a lot of this stuff, I don't remember exactly. But we're doing sleds. And, we're on like the 10th one, like the last one. we finish up, and I forget who it was, but somebody like is gone. We can't find them, and they have to do their last sled. And then somebody screams, like, because they're out front throwing up, which, guys, I mean, just get to the bathroom or go like way outside. Like, why are you throwing up right in front of the building?
In the doorway, bro.
Yeah, like stuff you just don't understand. But coach is like, man, y'all better fucking get him, or you got 5 more sleds. And I'm like, I'm not doing 5 more sleds. I run out. And again, I forget. I pick the kid up, and I'm like moving him in the. I'm like, you're gonna do your fucking sled. Like, I'm not doing another 5 for you because you're gonna quit and can't do it. But again, all that just and they're funny stories. They're great times, but all that just relates to the hard work that we put in, and there's hard days. But again, at the same time, we have fun too. Like there's in the film room and stuff. It's not always kicking your ass. You're having fun. You're learning. And it's a place that I want to go and I want, continue to train at. And it's not, well, shit, I got to go to Matt's today. It's, I can't wait to continue to get better. And I know that this guy is going to pour into me because I sat down in his office as a sophomore and said, Coach, I want to play at, and this is the time I think I was like Alabama, Georgia, Texas Tech. I was just name schools. He has you name the schools that you're thinking about. I want to play at those schools. And he's not going to short you of that. If you can't handle that, you're going to know. But he's going to put you to that expectation. And obviously we've seen with my recruitment and a lot of the guys in there that if you follow that path, you're going to get there. If you have the intangibles, and that's the thing that's tough about offensive line. You got to have the intangibles. I mean, it's tough, but it has to be. But if you have those and you have the right things and the gifts, from God, that you have the right things, yeah, Matt's going to get everything out of you, and you're going to be a great football player. And that all those funny stories are just, relating back to the hard work that we put in. So super exciting. I mean, yeah, fun times for sure.
Remember the Roscoe story.
Oh, okay. I forgot.
You can tell the Roscoe story. It's fine. That was one of the best days ever.
Okay, I forgot about that.
It's a family show, and I'm sure, and your mother and father are probably just watched it. Just try and elaborate without saying exactly what this completely.
I will. So this is this is funny. I try to forget about
the last show, Bailey.
So this is me. I had recently, I'm walking, but I'm still, I can't do anything because my leg. And I wasn't in this day. I wasn't at the gym. So this is all, second part of me hearing about it.
Oh, I thought you were there. My bad.
But no, I heard right after it happened because Colton was there and Colton texted me and told me about it. But anyway, so Roscoe apparently is in the gym and he's got, same thing. I'm showing up. My leg's broken. I got a rod in my leg and I'm showing up doing film and, bicep curls, doing what I can. So Roscoe has his I think he hurt his thumb. We don't know. He was
jerking off next to a door handle.
We don't know what he did. But in Roscoe, for a backstory, kid, we're at Creek, right? Summer.
Coach Kane was there.
The talk is we're getting a 6'7", 300-pound kid from Cali.
Oh.
We're gonna have our tackle, and I'm gonna be able to play guard. And he comes in and just uses the excuse for months about the air and he's not used to and he doesn't know how to play football. And credit to him, he'd only played football for a year and a half. But some of this stuff, I mean, you don't know your lefts and rights. Like it gets tough.
Family was there.
It gets tough. But so he has this broken whatever on his hand, and they're going through double team drills, and he's like, hey, can you at least walk through? You don't have to hit the bag. Matt's not asking anything crazy. He's just like, dude, can you walk through the double team drills? And so he's doing it. And then coach asks, hey, whatever happened to your hand? Like, what happened? And keep in
mind the kid started the day before. He started literally the day before.
Yep, the day before. And turns around to Matt and he says, you can ask UC Health. And Matt's like, what? He yells this at him. He's like, all I asked was what happened? Are you just wondering what happened? He said, well, you can ask UC Health and all this. And you can kind of go because don't you like kind of pull him away or like?
Yeah. So I go, okay,
Yeah.
Roscoe, let's just go into my office and figure this out because he's getting real aggressive. And he yells at me, "You know what, coach? Suck my dick." And I'm like, whoa. Like, wow. And then he starts yelling, "Get off my D" at the top of his lungs and just MFing me and all this. And my only response to him is, "Man, I wish you acted like this on the football field because you sure are tough." I just asked you a question, but you're a mental cripple on the football field.
Yeah.
So I immediately text Roper and everybody, and I'm like, "Thanks for referring this guy from Creek." Wink, wink.
Yeah, no, it was tough, but it is funny stories like that. But again, I mean, some kids just you can't handle it, and a lot of people have it, and it's hard to find. But I think some people just don't. They just can't. They just whether how they were raised or what, they just can't handle it. So that was a tough situation.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're one of the ones that can and did, and hats off to the whole Roper family and you setting the tone for your brothers and who I know are also great athletes and probably on the same trajectory. I'm just so damn proud of you, bro. I couldn't express how proud I am anymore. And I know that this is just the beginning of this. We've got a little lull where we can congratulate each other and then it's back to work. Bree put this together for us today, so I just wanted to put that out there. You and your pops, I know that's something special. I'll make sure you get a copy of this.
I love it. Thank you.
I know Andrew, as an ex-player, watching his eldest son go through this entire, period and transitioning from, being a good high school player to being the best high school player and everything that's come with it. I can only imagine the pride that man's feeling, and I hope one day that I can feel it with mine, who really looks up to you and works his ass off with you, and I just can't wait for that to continue to grow as well. So, brother, thank you so much for coming on the show, and appreciate all the kind words and the stories and everything. Damn shit. You should do your own podcast. You're good at this shit. Damn, son. I mean, damn, you're talking some bitch. I ain't heard you say this your whole life.
No, I love it. And again, like this is, I'll leave with, a couple of points, but same thing, I'm happy Nick feels that way. He's a dog of a player. So is Moon. So are these guys, the younger.
That 28 group is special. I'm not just talking, right?
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. These guys are legit. But same thing for my class and same thing for the guys who came before me, role models in the room. I looked up to Deacon and Breck a lot. And I remember talking to Deacon on a sled day. We finished, and I was like, dude, what is it like to have all these offers and all this stuff and deciding? And it's positive because we're a family in there. And he said, you're going to be there. Just keep grinding, go to the camps, do your thing. Like, you're going to be there. And those guys were huge role models for me. And, I hope that I can be half the role model those guys were to the guys who are younger than me and have that in the room. So, that's a huge part. And also when you guys, relate to the podcast and, I try to, a lot of that's for my parents. Credit to my parents who have put me in situations of public speaking and have to do these things and learn how to talk to adults. And that's a big thing. But also from the beginning of my recruitment and all these, the 247, the On3, all these guys, they love me because I always put together good stories. And they were all sad when I commit. They're like, well, shoot, like we're going to have to go back to like one word answers from these other kids.
How you doing today?
Good. Exactly. Yeah. It's a different feel. But from the beginning of this process, from maybe the guy with a couple of followers who's like, hey, you want to come on my podcast and talk about your OU camp? Would love to, right? And it's just being and getting used to this environment because at the end of the day, this is what's going to separate you. Everybody's big and athletic and strong in the NFL, and they're going to evaluate you just like I did on these schools, the little things. They're going to evaluate you on the little things. And being able to speak and talk and express yourself, I think is a big thing and something that I like to represent myself in. Two things, I like to do this, and also I like to represent myself on the board. I mean, we talk about that all the time, but that's somewhere where I separate myself. And from the guys who came before me too are great, but being the smartest guy on the field and understanding the game. Again, everybody's big and physical and strong, but that's why they have those meetings and you sit down with the GM, the head coach, the position coaches, and 15 other dudes on the NFL roster you're going to sit down with, and they're going to watch you draw a play on the board and explain it. And not only show your good stuff, show your bad stuff. And how are you going to communicate that, talk through it, and be on the board? And those are two things I value a lot. And again, going back to Trey, being a multiple, position player, being able to play all the spots, has impacted me. And I've seen the value in that, being able to play all the spots. So there's been a lot of positive reinforcement. And again, going back to my team and the people around me have given me so much opportunity and put me in the right position. And I'm super thankful. Just been a great experience. And thank you guys again for giving me the platform to share it. And we're ready to get back to work tomorrow. I'll be in the gym tomorrow. So I'm ready.
I'll see you and Reese at 4 p.m.
Yes, sir.
We've got a bunch of coaches in tomorrow at 5 a.m. But again, you guys are committed, and we're on a different level. There's levels to this shit, as they say. So 4 p.m. tomorrow, you and Reese will be in the film room with the big guy, and then we'll go out and get our work done. Jackson Roer, love you, bro. Congratulations.
Yes, love you guys too. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. Fours up. Can we get a four clap? Ready?
Yeah. Fours up. Right. Yes, sir.
Congratulations, Jackson.
All right, brother. Later.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. See ya.
See ya. Congratulations to Jackson Roer. What an interview. I mean, man, he's got stories for days. Man, it's really nice hearing from him, hearing his perspective. He dropped a lot of different little gems and dimes in there and all different types of things, Matt.
He did a great job.
Really nice having him on. And congratulations to him. Matt, yet another kid, you've got an opportunity in college, so congratulations to you and everybody at 60 Academy. I mean, it's just the number keeps growing, Matt, and that's just another opportunity, life change, and I know Jackson's going to run with this opportunity, so I am really excited for him and Coach McChesney down at UCLA, Matt.
Yeah, it's I've been doing this a long time, and there's a lot of ups and downs to the business world, as people know, but it's pretty cool to see the guys come in and achieve the way they are, and to have my son be in the position he's in right now, where he's about to get his stars and his ranking, and he's watching the other. Kaden just got his 3 stars from. So Kaden got 3 stars. Kaden Meyer, who's a fantastic center guard tackle. He's just an offensive line monster. Another kid from Windsor. He got his 3 stars from 247. But didn't get ranked by Rivals. Rivals put Moon as a 3-star, but didn't get ranked by 247. This is my beef. This is like what I'm trying to even out here. So, Reese Russell's on tomorrow. He just committed to Washington, so he'll come on tomorrow and probably have some more good stories and some more fun there. Reese is another character. Just because you have character, or just because you are a character, doesn't mean you have character. Remember that. So he'll shake that mullet for us tomorrow. But just all the guys and all the work and all the bullshit and all the haters and everybody that thinks we're not doing what we actually are. It's good to see it pay off for the guys who come in and put their best foot forward on a daily basis. And Jackson Roer is definitely one of them. So UCLA got an absolute dog. Washington got themselves an absolute dog. And there's more. This 27 class is really deep. Colton Heimlicher is a kid who's got about 7-8 offers right now, who's just an absolute stud of a player. He'll be one of the best D-linemen in the state next year. Jackson Sanders, who's a 9-sack defensive end, outside linebacker from Valor. It's just a matter of time before he blows up. He's coming off of a knee injury, but just an unbelievably talented player. Everett Caphart, who's over at Ponderosa, who has got a ton of offers, all the service academies, and we've got a bunch of schools in tomorrow morning coming to watch a kid like Everett, especially Boise State. And his road dog right next to him, Brody Wright, the big tight end who's got 6 offers, just about to put out his top 6. He's one of those 3-headed monsters at tight end with Brody's at Ponderosa, 6'4", 230-pound, real fast, flex kind of guy. And then Jackson Post is at Evergreen. He just got his 3 stars. He's got his official visit set up to New Mexico and UNLV. CSU should definitely be going after those 2 kids as hard as humanly possible. So should CU. I mean, just as hard as humanly possible. And then, Zane, Big Zane from Loveland last year went to CU, another great tight end prospect. And then Caleb Campings, he took his official and committed to Arizona State out of Fossil Ridge. He only had 1 offer when he walked out with 22 and committed to Arizona State. So I guess that worked. So, yeah, man, there's just the 29 class with Waylon Day and, Big Norton and Ethan from Evergreen also, and Antonio, who's just transferred to Valor, who's another huge frame. That group, Waylon Day is going to have 40 offers. That kid's an absolute freak. And then the 30 group, and we can throw Devin back up, but Devin's going to be the number one player. He's already the number one player ranked by Al Pops in the state in the 2030 class, big tackle up at Fairview. He'll start for him from the minute he walks in, as he should. We call him Rocky Flats for a reason. And then he'll end up, I think Devin has the potential to maybe be the number one player at his position in the entire country by the time he's a senior. This kid is, okay, he's 13 years old. He's every bit, I bet you he's over 6'6". I bet you he's 6'7", 300. And
massive human being, yes.
So that's last year's measurements. He's easily 6'7", easily 300. And his shoes, he has to wear pink shoes because Lamar couldn't find 18-size shoes anywhere. They only had pink ones. So he has to rock these big pink like banana boats. But he makes it work. Them pink shoes are rolling. So, you know, it just keeps rolling. And you can either be a coach and put down your ego and come, you know, evaluate and really pay homage to the place you live. Both CU, CSU, Air Force does a great job. I got nothing negative to say about them. UNC's has really turned a corner and does a great job there too. Most notably, Lincoln Fapoli Jr., their great left guard, who I would guess you probably only have for one more year, and just the nature of college football. But yeah, man, it'd be nice for CU and CSU to, especially like this kid. You want to convince people in the state of Colorado you're changing your ways. Be the first offer for this kid. Don't let Utah or Michigan. I've already presented him to you guys about 150 times, but I've also presented him to everybody else 150 times, or 149 because you got him first. So this, I don't know what you'd be waiting for. I don't know what you need to wait for. It just is what it is. So, yeah, even Roper had something to say about it. I'm sure that, and I didn't even ask him. He just had something to say. So,
but we'll Colorado should prioritize Devin West because that's, I mean, everything that Matt talks about, they can flip it and start all over again.
Oh, yeah, bro. Devin should walk in and play for you as a freshman. Yeah. And this is another thing. This is really great to hear because this is what you hear from people after we interviewed Breck and after we interviewed Bates and after we interviewed Deacon. Man, they're so mature and they're so smart and blah. Well, yeah, this is what we do, man. It's not, we're not lighting people on fire. It's not some lunatic shit like all you sheltered pussies think it is. It's real football, real development, real family, real tradition, really giving a shit. Not just saying we are because we're in business together. You know, like you think Adrian Lee is coming to see me because we're in business together? That kid's never paid me a dime. And I'm not talking shit. I want to help him. The fact that I could help him is the coolest thing ever. I can't wait to see him tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. to work out with another crop of coaches because now he's back in the fucking recruiting world going to Blinn. JC to go earn it. So, again, there's so much opportunity and so many kids chasing it. And the open house is on Saturday. If you have that flyer, throw that up real quick. We'd really love everybody and anybody to come. It'll be on Saturday at the new facility from 4 to 7 p.m. You can see it all over social media. The address for the new facility is.
I'll pull up the flyer here.
Address for the new facility is. I'm really good. I'm really thought this out before I did it. 8369 South Park Lane in Littleton, Colorado. 8369 South Park Lane in Littleton. We would love everybody to come down. We've been posting it and sending it out to everybody. So love for everybody to come. We'll be back tomorrow at the original time, right? We'll be back at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
We'll be back at tomorrow, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 12 p.m. Pacific. We got a very special guest.
Reese on at, I want to say 2, most likely, when he gets out of school. So hold on to your ass, folks. We'll have another good show tomorrow.
But yeah, go check out. We'll have Reese Russell. Can't wait to have Reese on. New Washington Huskies offensive lineman Matt. But go check out Matt's open gym here. Grand opening to his new facility this Saturday. Go check it out. 8369 South Park Lane, Unit A, Littleton, Colorado.
Carmen's going to come down and help us out.
But yeah, go check out Matt's open house here. And with that, that is another episode of Back in Black, the premier show for Colorado Buffaloes football coverage. As always, thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're watching, go ahead and pound that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family today. And while you're at it, go ahead and get 60% off an annual VIP membership on 247sports.com by using the promo code B2BPOD. Go get in the message boards on buffinsider.com. Go talk the talk about Colorado Buffaloes football back and forth. Matt will be in there doing a Q&A, etc. this week and stuff like that. So go get in the message boards. They get at 247sports.com. Go use that promo code B2BPOD and get 60% off an annual VIP membership. Matt, great show here. Great having Jackson Roer. Congratulations, him going to UCLA and Coach McChesney. We will be back tomorrow. Any closing thoughts for the people before we get out of here?
No. Have a good day, folks. See you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Welcome, everyone, to Folsom Field here in Boulder, Colorado.